Samsung HWQ990D. This soundbar is basically a sonic spaceship. 22 speakers shoot Dolby goodness all around your room, making that old home theater look like a cable spaghetti nightmare. If you want bass rumble, cinematic depth, and the feeling that your cat's about to leap into hyperspace, this beast delivers with high-tech features and premium build. Between the immersive sound, easy setup, and enough gaming features to make your console blush, the only downside is its price tag and chunky build. But hey, you're paying for ear luxury. 10 out of 10. Samsung HWQ930D. It's the slightly less flashy cousin, but still throws out a huge, lively soundstage with punchy surround effects and plenty of bass oomph for your next explosion binge. Setup is so easy you'll spend more time thinking up excuses not to leave the couch, and with clean dialogue and customizable tweaks, it's a crowd pleaser for movies and TV, unless you're picky about super immersive height effects or want the absolute best. The only thing boxy here should be the popcorn, not the mids, so try to audition it first if you're a fussy listener. 8 out of 10. TCL Q85H. TCL's flagship Dolby Atmos bar steps into the ring with wild ambition, pumping out immersive surround sound and decent bass for the price. But let's be real, the height channels are more egg-shaped than mind-blowing. Vocals get a bit lost, and unless you're partial to rear-heavy sound, you might start wondering if half your sound went on vacation. Sure, it's better than your TV speakers, and it's easy to set up, but if you're hunting balanced cinema magic, save this one for karaoke night. 5 out of 10. Hisense AX51258. This budget beast brings real Dolby Atmos surround sound to your living room, complete with a punchy subwoofer and tiny rear speakers that sometimes get overwhelmed. Kind of like your dog when the mail arrives. Forget fancy features and Wi-Fi, because it's all plug and play. Just you, the remote, and a system that's surprisingly solid for the price. Seriously, it won't win a beauty pageant, but it'll make your movie sound 10 times bigger than your TV ever could, as long as you don't mind its bottom-heavy enthusiasm when things get loud. 8 out of 10. Sony Bravia Theater Quad. This epic setup ditches the usual soundbar and drops 4 wireless speakers around your room, instantly turning your living space into a mini IMAX. So yes, your houseplants now have front row seats to surround sound glory. The detail and balance really impress, making movie nights almost unfair for regular soundbars. But whoa, that price will leave your wallet gasping louder than the bass, which by the way needs help unless you shell out for the add-on subwoofer. Yes, the system's room-filling. Spatial magic is jaw-dropping, but you'd better be ready to pay, or start charging guests for tickets. 9 out of 10. Bose Smart Soundbar. Bose packs all the features you could ever want into a slim bar. AI dialogue mode, voice assistance, and even a trick where Bose earbuds become rear speakers. But that'll cost you extra, surprise. Bass fans may need a hug, because this soundbar's low end is lighter than a salad at a barbecue, but mids and highs are crisp and clear, perfect for apartments or bedrooms. Ultimately, if you want a feature-packed, easy-to-set-up soundbar that always sounds better than your TV and never quite shakes the room, this is the one to grab. Just don't expect it to throw a blockbuster party solo. 7 out of 10. Nakamichi Shockwave Ultra 9.2. With subwoofers that could register on the Richter scale, this soundbar's bass will shake your snacks off the coffee table and make your neighbors question their life choices. Getting 360-degree sound, all the way behind the couch, is easy if you enjoy playing Cable Wrangler and deciphering modular speaker puzzles. But the cinema-level boom is absolutely worth a little setup sweat. From action movies that threaten your furniture to mellow tunes that fill every millimeter of your living room, it's like owning an IMAX, except you don't need pop-up ads. 9 out of 10. Samsung HWQ900C. Built for living rooms where rear speakers fear to tread, this soundbar fires sound off your ceiling, making your popcorn leap with those Dolby Atmos rumbles. Dialogue is crisp as a fresh dollar bill, and that clever subwoofer adds punch, though sometimes it dreams of deeper bass. So if you're expecting tectonic shake, you might ask for the next model up. Alexa's ready to take voice commands so you can adjust the volume from under your blanket, and the smart room correction wizard makes everything sound bigger than expected for a standalone setup. 8 out of 10. Sennheiser AMBO Soundbar Max. The AMBO Max looks like it ate every other soundbar and grew 13 speakers in one beastly chassis, so nobody's ever asking, is it loud enough? Its 3D mode makes the sound swirl around you like a pack of friendly ghosts. But if you're all about bass thumps, prepare for more crisp highs than subwoofer booms. Think concert hall, not nightclub. It's got more fancy audio formats than a DJ with commitment issues, and dialogue basically floats out. But without rear speakers, the surround wow occasionally feels like it's only halfway around your head. 7 out of 10. Vizio Elevate SESL 500806. Looking for that Dolby Atmos magic without paying rent-sized prices? The Elevate SE struts in with auto-rotating speakers that spin up like a caffeinated DJ when surround sound knocks, but the height effects barely rise above your popcorn bowl. You'll get satisfying, punchy sound and real surround satellites, but the lack of a remote means you control this spaceship panel like it's 1995, and those immersive effects are above average, not above your head. If you want affordable surround thrills with a side of yesteryear's tech, grab this one and flex. Just don't expect overhead helicopters to land in your living room. 6 out of 10. Nakamichi Dragon. The Dragon swoops in, flaunting a monstrous 11.4 channels and so much bass your neighbors will file a noise complaint before the credits roll. Every explosion, Hans Zimmer horn, and helicopter swirl rumbles with wild clarity, plus 6 fire-breathing up-firing drivers actually make Atmos sound feel like things are flying overhead instead of just shuffling about. Setting up is a small pilgrimage, and you'll need a mortgage for the subs, but with insane customization and true cinema-grade wow, it's an immersive giant for movie maniacs and party gods, as long as you don't mind occasionally losing your dialogue in the bass thunder. 9 out of 10. LG S95AR. LG's S95AR isn't messing around. This flagship packs 17 speaker drivers and 5 up-firing units, letting you swim through genuine Dolby Atmos and DTS:X that feel like a sonic hot tub. The bass is deep, the surround detail gets you nodding, and wireless wow features make setup slicker than your streaming queue, especially if you're running an LG TV. It's basically plug, play, and be amazed by voice clarity and thunderous explosions all at once. While the sub can rattle on heavy action scenes and movie buffs might nitpick some pass-through color quirks, this is a living room powerhouse with maximum immersion for binge watchers, blockbusters, and anyone who wants money to sound like pure surround joy. 8 out of 10. Sony Bravia Theater Bar 9. Everything about the Theater Bar 9 screams, "I'm here to impress," but then it forgets to bring the bass, like showing up at karaoke night with nothing but interpretive dance. Sure, movies sound spacious and dialogue is crystal clear, but turn on an action scene and you'll wish you could slap on a subwoofer like a band-aid for your wounded expectations. Slick looks and handy features keep it in the running, but at this price, you might expect your living room to rumble, not just whisper. 6 out of 10. De Violet Dionne. The Dionne looks like a French spaceship, complete with a weird spinning orb in the center, and it hits you with bass so thunderous you'll check if there's a secret drum kit inside. No need for external boxes or satellites, because this beast packs 17 drivers and enough room-shaking power to startle your goldfish. The catch? The wallet feels the shock too, and if you want extras like DTS:X, you'll have to make do with a polite French shrug. 8 out of 10. Sonos Arc Ultra. Arc Ultra rolls in with 14 drivers and a bass upgrade so punchy, you might finally hear that cat meme video in Dolby Atmos glory. Plus, vocals get the sparkle of a freshly cleaned window. Sure, the price is a little spicy and it's not the absolute champ for movies, but if you want music or immersive surround sound, this bar's the party guest everyone wants to sit next to. Would I buy it? Maybe. 9 out of 10. Samsung HW-Q800. This beefy soundbar packs Dolby Atmos, making explosions sound like they're happening in your living room instead of the neighbors. Just hope your landlord is cool with earthquakes. It fires audio in every direction so movies feel bigger, and the subwoofer thumps with enough authority that popcorn might actually jump. You lose out on true rear speakers unless you pay extra, but even without them, it's a cinema-grade upgrade for all but the most demanding sound junkies. 9 out of 10. Sony HT-S2000. The Sony HT-S2000 looks innocent and budget-friendly, but surprise? It punches well above its weight with crispy dialogue and a wraparound virtual Atmos that makes your living room sound way bigger than it is. Sadly, there's no smart features or Wi-Fi, but you do get Bluetooth, and the built-in sub does a solid job with rumbles for movies and music. Still, it's not quite smart enough to order you a pizza when the action gets intense, but the value is excellent for smaller spaces. 8 out of 10. Sony HT-A7000. Sony's flagship struts in with so many channels it's practically auditioning for Dolby's next big blockbuster. Dialogue is crystal clear, and the immersive surround effects are so good it makes every movie a personal event. But brace your wallet, because adding the sub and rears will set you back enough to make popcorn night a budget affair, and its bass without add-ons may leave action fans a tad underwhelmed. If you want the Rolls-Royce of soundbars and are ready to pay, this one's ready to impress. But value hunters should keep searching. 7 out of 10. JBL Bar 1300X. This beast is basically a Hollywood blockbuster that moved into your living room, pumping out audio so powerful it could make your popcorn rattle. With 11.1 channels and a subwoofer that shakes the floors, movies sound freakishly immersive, like Batman is about to crash through your window. The rear speakers pop off for instant surround action, and the bass hits so hard, your neighbors might call animal control for phantom tigers. 9 out of 10. JBL Bar 500 MK2. Want your tiny TV speakers to feel like they went to sound college? The JBL Bar 500 MK2 delivers clear dialogue and a surprisingly punchy 10-inch subwoofer, plus virtual surround that actually tries its best not to sound fake. It's got room correction and multi-beam wizardry, so those car chases zigzag across your living room, but don't expect to blast bass through the walls unless you believe in miracles. 7 out of 10. Samsung S60D. This sleek bar says, no subwoofer, no problem, and then frantically tries to keep up with explosions, offering great dialogue clarity and built-in Chromecast, perfect for smart TV life hacks. But when the action peaks, it trades big-budget rumble for high bass optimism, sounding more like polite surround sound than true Atmos with altitude. If you want upgrades over your TV's speakers, it'll charm you. If you want real atmosphere, maybe buy headphones for your couch. 5 out of 10. TCL S50. This little soundbar thinks it's all grown up, flexing its Dolby Atmos muscles and tossing in a dedicated subwoofer for that neighbors hate me now bass thump. Setup is fast and painless, unless you count wrangling the app, and it even tries to read your room with AI sonic adaptation, which is like asking your furniture for audio advice. But while it packs a punch for the price, once you push the volume, it remembers its budget and gets a bit shouty. So best keep movie nights chill. 7 out of 10. Sonos Beam Gen 2. This chic soundbar is so compact and confident, it could walk into a room and convince your living space it's twice as big, with a soundstage that stretches wider than the Sonos logo on the box. Dolby Atmos is on board, kind of. While it won't actually rain sound from your ceiling, it fakes it pretty well, and dialogue stays sharp even when robots, Furbies, or your dog interrupt. Streaming music rocks, gaming sounds great, and it plays nice with your smart home gear. What else could you want besides a better price tag? 9 out of 10. Polk Audio Signa S4. If you want bass that doubles as a foot massage, but also need to hear every whisper in your favorite crime doc, the Signa S4 stands ready with real, physical, upward-firing speakers and clever voice adjustment tricks. For Atmos movies, it does its best to bring the cinema home. Just don't expect true surround. You'll get more of a budget row 3 experience than a balcony seat. No Wi-Fi and slightly veiled sound annoy the snobs, but for the money, Polk lands a solid punch in the budget brawl. 8 out of 10. Klipsch Flexus Core 200. The Klipsch Flexus Core 200 lands on your TV stand looking ready to host a rooftop concert and sounds nearly as bold, with punchy bass and sparkling clear dialogue that'll make you wonder if you should just rent your living room out as a cinema instead. Customize its sound with the app and enjoy Dolby Atmos goodness. Although beware, there's no fancy room calibration or side-firing wizardry, and you'll need your own subwoofer if you crave true earthquake mode. Still, for a soundbar that shows up with big energy, real wood, and a modular upgrade path, but no HDMI pass-through for gamers, it's like a rock star who forgot their encore. Nearly fantastic, but could use a little extra thrill. 8 out of 10. Denon DHT S218. Denon's DHT S218 struts in as the budget hero with a sleek body and Dolby Atmos on board, but just so you know, those Atmos effects are as virtual as your New Year's resolutions. It's all processing, no actual upfiring speakers here. Sound is surprisingly rich with firm bass for its size, dialogue stays crisp even when Granny's asleep, and you can wall mount it to keep your minimalist aesthetic intact. But if you crave cinematic thunder, you'll need to bring your own subwoofer to the party. Ideal for tight spaces and tighter budgets, just don't expect the ceiling to rumble or the soundstage to blow your mind. But it's so hassle-free you might still suggest it to your in-laws. 7 out of 10. Yamaha SR-B30A. Yamaha's SR-B30A is the plug-and-play pal that feels right at home in front of any TV, quietly flexing a solid punch with its built-in subwoofer and impressively immersive surround vibe. Even though it looks like it's secretly hoping you won't ask it to host movie night for more than 3 people, you get true Dolby Atmos decoding, voice mode to make dialogue pop, and bass that's got enough grit to jolt your socks. But hardcore audiophiles or fiends for sky-high effects may find themselves wanting a little more boom and wow. Effortless to set up, runs on Bluetooth for the streaming crowd, and delivers clear, powerful sound for day-to-day binging, this bar is the unsung hero of don't want to think about it audio upgrades. 7. 5 out of 10. JBL Bar 9.1. This thing is like the Swiss Army knife of living room sound. Plop it in front of your couch and suddenly you are ducking imaginary helicopters in your pajamas, thanks to those detachable, rechargeable surround speakers that love to travel more than your pet cat. Bass? More like a neighborhood warning. The subwoofer's got boom for days, and the whole system just wants to be loud, wide, and proud, with Dolby Atmos doing its best impression of a full-on movie theater, minus the sticky floors. But the setup is not always smooth, and sometimes the speakers mysteriously disconnect like they have more important places to be, which means you might spend more time troubleshooting than actually watching anything. 7 out of 10.